Okay, problem 10.2, millimeters, grams, and seconds. Part's origin is located at the bottom center. Part is symmetric, sketch is fully defined, center lines, circles, rectangles, extrude boss, use an extruded thin feature. So looking at this geometry, there's a couple of ways that we could go with it. I'm thinking, just building out the block and um, the little bosses at the top. Thin feature I could see as the circles on the bottom would probably go with the rib on the that intersection or that middle section. So let's get into it, see what we get. Our top plane, part millimeter, top plane. We'll open up the sketch. Going to go with the center rectangle. And our overall is 31.8. And the width is 15.8. And let's just go ahead and extrude that out. Not mid-plane. And the height of the first boss is 9.6. I'll go ahead and generate that. So let's open up the sketch on top and try to get the easy geometry in first. So from center, we're 12. And then from center, shouldn't matter which way I go. The detail would kind of put it on the other side. And then our diameter, 4.8. All right, so let's go ahead with the linear sketch pattern. We need to make sure that since I didn't pre-select, I'm going to go to the entities to pattern. For, I think we could safely go 8. All right, so looking at the 12 and back from 4, can always go into the dimensions later, but let's add the X spacing. The Y spacing becomes 2, and then also goes to 8. What did I miss? Oh, there we go, to 4. Oh, I didn't add a Y spacing, so if we move those, we can kind of see that the way that they shift, and I moved it just enough. All right, so to verify my number, I would put that in and just let it be driven as what becomes a reference dimension, and that becomes 1.8. Okay, so that gets us a good start on our geometry. Let's go into the bottom, and I'll just do an offset of 1.4. And let's see the ribs. The small ribs, those look like they go all the way to the bottom since there's not a line there. If we go offset from surface, good thing I checked that. Always a good idea to rotate because I didn't catch the reverse. All right, so let's go ahead and extrude cut, and that is 1 millimeter off of the top surface. So offset from surface, we pick our geometry, 1 millimeter, and go ahead and accept. So we're doing pretty good there. I'll forget those little blocks. So let's switch back to corner rectangle. And this really isn't going to be, don't know, might not be pattern worthy, but we can certainly mirror it. And so 1.2 by 1.2, and then we need a distance for the location. See if we can find it here. So the 4 looks like it's centered 4 from the circle. So let's go ahead with putting in our 3 circles for the 6.5 bosses. Okay, and if we select right to left, that'll get everything crossing, set them to equal, and then we can set the 6.5. Our relations are going to be center, control select center, control select center. Those are all horizontal. And then they are 8 millimeters between. Okay, so with the rib and the centers, if they're 4 on either side, so we can either go with a sketch point at the midpoint, or we could draw a center line. All right, so that does pretty good. We're going to end up with 2 on each side. So I guess the toss-up is, do we want to mirror everything or create enough of a pattern to get those started? So I think I'm going to go with the linear pattern, and pattern doesn't really need the points, so I'm just going to select a bunch of stuff and then go back. So we need 4 of those with 8 millimeters, and we're dimensioning the X spacing. And we'll go ahead and accept. All right, so our distance then. So what did it do there? 1.4 on the edge. Are those different? So did it mess up the offset by doing 1.2 and then adding the 0.2 into the group? All right, so I missed that. Not a deal killer, but yeah, certainly interesting. So let's go ahead and mirror. Oh, it added the center line for the dimensioning. So let's just control window pick the 4 and then see if I can get the mirror on that one. All right. So what we need to do to correct my oversight is back into the cut extrude. Let's edit. And we're going to find offset entities and offset entities. And I may have to get rid of all of them if it, nope, there went. All right, we'll just drag the endpoints and go horizontal. So offset was quick, but it didn't really fit. So rather than starting over, we'll just make the correction. So get my numbers in. 1.2 and 1.2. All right, and because none of that geometry was removed, all of the relations in Sketch 4 should still be there. So let's go into the extrude. I think I have everything. Don't want to put the rib in just yet. So let's go into the extrude. We're going to select contours. And reverse the direction and go up to next. And we're just going to do these one at a time, but share the sketch. And it's just convenient because they dimensioned back through one of the circles. We could have done the calculations, but that gives us enough to get started. And we want to show. All right, so when we pick those three and extrude, it's going to see it as closed, but we can add the thin feature. And oh, they will let it cap the ends now. So could have done the top, maybe. I think I'm going to be better off still doing the geometry one at a time. So 1.2 on the thickness, and we need to reverse the direction to the interior, and then up to surface. Oh, wrong surface. So if I reverse it, then we can just do up to next. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so let's hide our sketch. We're getting our geometry in there. The top plane, we can drag off, control select the plane, drag it off some distance to get it started, and then we are 2.3 for the rib, and we open up a sketch on that plane. Then let's do the reverse, control 6, so I can see the geometry. We'll go from the quadrant out to the midpoint. And then we're looking in our features for rib. Yeah, that's a little wide. It should be the 1.2 as well. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, nope, that one's called out as 1.1. We'll tab it, check the direction. So that's showing it coming out. We need to flip it and flip material side or flip direction. Nope, that flips that way. There we go, flip the material side, looking at that little arrow, making sure that it goes the rest of the way. All right, so while we're here, let's open up the sketch. So we're given 1.1 on the walls and 1.1 off of the surface. So let's go to the hidden lines visible, so we can see our circles, and we'll be able to find those centers. And keep going and keep going. All right, could have patterned it. We already have the pattern sequence, but if I tie it to the upper, if they change, then this will just follow it. 1.1. Okay, those all look pretty good. And we'll go back to the isometric, switch back to our shaded. If you haven't added the shortcuts to the heads-up display, we just go back to the display, switch it to shaded with edges. We're going to extrude cut, offset from surface, and then it is also 1.1 millimeters, and the surface is that one. All right, hide the plane to clean up after ourselves. Think everything's in there. Kind of one quick look. So we have a volume of 2212. Let's see how close I got. Mass properties, 2249. All right, we're close. So let's just double check a few things. Did that go both directions? Normal distance 1.1, 1.1, 2.3, 1 millimeter. All right, well, I'm not sure where that extra 30 or so cubic millimeters came from, but I think we've built it out. 10.2. I think we built it out pretty well. The question was this one, I think, was the 1.2, but then the little tabs give it the 1.4. And then the sides are still 1.4. Oh, I missed a couple tabs. That would just make it bigger. All right, so going back through it, let's go to the bottom. And we'll just do the rollback so I'm not looking at all the other geometry. It should have suppressed it, but we need also, so if I remove the 1.2, oh, the 1.4 is through that cross section. Yep, 1.2, that would have done it. So I could have just changed the offset to 1.2 and been right there, but I did not catch that, so there's always going to, well, it's not a test if you don't throw in the fun little tricks and traps. So let's go equal, oh, not equal, parallel, equal, and equal. And then that one is dimensioned on the 4 millimeters side. So we'll just go back to the point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going through the center. All right, so mirror, and then let's grab those and find the center line that I just put in and mirror, and then the sketch. .2, and we'll do a rebuild, go back through our build. All right, so we'll see if that generated enough. Oh, it would probably help to add those then. Let's go back into the feature, make sure we're in the select contours, and picking, and picking. All right, so let's see what else I missed. Mask properties 212. How about that? Or 2212. Okay, so you know, watch those details. The section view threw me pretty good. The geometry wasn't complicated, but again, there's a lot of noise to cipher through that you need to be detail oriented and kind of deciphering that the section view going through there also splits through that that line, which makes that number kind of a distraction. All right, we'll call that good.